Katie Davis, online editor for DadsDivorce. Today we are sitting here with attorney and assistant team leader Heather Biagi from the St. Louis office. She currently practices law with Cordell Cordell. Hi Heather, how are you?
Fine, how are you today?
Doing very well. So first, to start off with, we're going to talk about custody, a few issues that affect particularly fathers facing divorce with custody. One of the first questions is, how would you recommend for a lot of our readers who are fathers that they best prepare for what looks like is going to be a custody battle?
So anyone who's preparing for a custody battle, obviously with divorce, anytime, while I'm not suggesting people pre-plan for a divorce per se, anytime people can gather information, especially on the front end, or gather information as it's going on. So whether this is an initial divorce custody battle, or whether this is a motion to modify where you're making a play for custody or for changing custody, I would say the more documentation and the more information you can gather ahead of time to have things at your disposal during your case and to prove some things. Custody isn't a black and white issue in that the law isn't set up that if you meet A, B, and C, then you get custody. It's kind of what I like to call a gray thing, where some of it is discretion of the judge, some of it's the facts of the case. So the more you can prove certain things or disprove some overarching statements that the opposing party might say about you, use the information to disprove it or to prove that you are in fact doing those things. I think that's one of the best ways to kind of make a jump for custody or to kind of have an upper hand. The other thing I would say too is with regard to your children, if you anticipate or maybe don't anticipate, but just something to think about with regard to custody issues, again, time spent with the child. We all know in marriages or in relationships, each parent has a role, whether that's the breadwinner and someone's the caretaker, whether that's both people working and you split up the caretaking. However, the more time you can spend with the child on substantive things like doctor's appointments, school visits, those types of things, certainly again that goes towards time spent with the child and kind of maintaining that status quo should the relationship or the marriage break down.
So what do you say in particular to your clients who are fathers when they deal with these custody situations, particularly at the beginning of your consultations and initial meetings?
So some of it is, fact-based. I mean, to kind of go to a certain level, sometimes it is, and of course these are people who are usually going through the worst time in their life, right, or they're certainly on the defensive as far as wanting to make the best possible case they are, and sometimes that doesn't bring out the greatest aspects of the marriage. But some of the things the clients want to tell us up front is all of the bad things about the other person. And I have to kind of weed through and tell them, hey, these are the things that might be bad about them, but it may or may not make a huge difference in the court's eyes. Likewise, I then kind of reverse it and say to the person, let's reflect back on ourselves. Okay, if you're saying she's doing all of these things, what is she going to say about you? I need to know that to combat it, and also to kind of give an idea of what I think might be helpful in the case, might be hurtful, might be a hurdle we need to overcome, or might be something I need to do more due diligence on to prove it about opposing party. So as far as everything goes, some of it too is what judge, depending upon how the courthouse that you're filing in handles the judge assignments. Some of it depends on the judge and the judge ideologies about custody. For instance, we have certain judges who are very much more open about giving more time or starting at kind of an equal custody standpoint, whether that's joint legal, joint physical, and then looking at a visitation that's a 50-50, and then they want to be told, why do I move off of that? Give me reasons why, and the pendulum swings one way or the other. We have some judges who are extremely traditional, and they're going to give one party more time over the other, depending upon what their role was during the marriage or the course of the relationship. So as far as everything goes, again, I kind of go back to that custody is somewhat of a gray issue in that part of it's dependent upon your case facts, part of it's dependent upon also the opposing party, how hard of a case they're going to make it. Are they going to fight hard? Are they going to understand that some of this is going to play itself out and there may be equal time? likewise, again, the judge and different mitigating circumstances. Now, obviously, we have a kind of an arsenal of tools to help combat all of those things. And one thing we pride ourselves on, especially in the areas or in the courthouses that we practice in, while we can't guarantee a result, certainly knowing kind of the players and the situation and being able to kind of advise our clients what the likelihood might be in certain cases dependent upon certain facts.
Right. Okay, great. Well, thanks for speaking with us today, Heather. Again, this has been Dad's Divorce Live with DadsDivorce.com. I'm Katie Davis, online editor. This was Heather Biagi. She's an attorney and assistant team leader with Cordell Cordell in the St. Louis area. Thanks for watching.